And we definitely give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. We are thankful for all those who are joining the Shaka live streaming that is already in progress. Bless love to one and all. The Honorable Priest Isaac here just welcome you into the Tiger's Nest, into the Mystic Zone. What we will be doing this evening, we will be having the official launching of the Priest Isaac's African History Month essay competition. And for those who know, and even those who may not know, this is officially the sixth uh, essay competition that we have definitely brought forward even to the people. So we are very thankful for such, and we give thanks continually for all those who are even in tune with us, even at this moment. Now, let me just first of all give an idea of exactly what the essay competition is, why it was formulated, and exactly the whole procedure for an individual to be a part of it. Now, of course, as I said, African History Month. And if you are here in Antigua, you would have obviously listened to the individuals and the people speaking and arguing over the African history and the Black history, and if it's Africa or it's Black history. And as you would notice, I try not to get in between that talk at all. Because as I said on one radio program even today, I do not like to add water to the lemon juice. We don't want to dilute nothing here at all. Now, African history, Afrocentricity, the depths of it is that we are looking at targeting our young ones, the youth. As I always say, when you look at the word youth, the TH, it's really you. It is you. Some of us, we have conversations and we totally leave out you. You know, we think this is big man something, so we don't bring in the you. But it's very important that the youth become a part of the conversation. So, as I said 6 years ago, I was having a conversation with an individual, and a pastor who was having a summer camp was speaking about a girl that was a part of this summer camp who really came to him for a certain level of counseling, etc. And her word sound to the pastor was that she was a part of a gang. She was a member of a gang. I'm talking about right here in Antigua. And she said that to be a member of the gang, she had to have sexual intercourse with 6 brothers in the period of 3 minutes. Believe me, this is how all of this began. And after hearing that conversation, and I did the maths, 6 boys, 3 minutes. I mean, you could just work it out. Obviously, that could not be something that was comfortable to anyone, any female. Well, I would hope not. I'm talking about at the time a young girl who, according to the discussion that I was having, has not seen her 18th birthday as yet. So maybe at that time she was maybe 14 and or 15 the most when that took place. And you could imagine maybe something took place prior to that to be a part of this clique, to be a part of this crew. All right. I said, okay, that's a serious thing. And obviously, because of the mind frame, I've always been meditating of doing an essay competition, and there's so many things in the mind. We have many works to do to fulfill in the name of our ancestors. But after hearing that, I about this. Now, an individual may ask, so how is it that you could bring in your African history and your Afrocentricity and your African heritage to try to solve that problem there. Now, I like to highlight the book, The Wretched of the Earth, by Brother Frantz Fanon. And in the introduction of the book, the good brother speaks about the ancient tradition of voodoo. People call it voodoo today because of a lot of misunderstanding. But the voodoo tradition, as he was speaking of from Benin, which we will know as Dahomey, the people of the snake. Frantz Fanon, who is a Caribbean author as well from Martinique. Some people argue between Martinique or Guadeloupe, but you get the point. And the brother was saying that in that tradition, if a man was to look at his brother's wife in a way that was not up full and right, and you could just imagine, he would need no judge, he would need no jury, he would need no executioner. He himself would go within himself, humble himself, and according to that book, he would approach the family of the sister that he thought he loved and present them with some level of gift. If you want to refer to it as to recompense just for his thoughts, just for his thoughts. An individual would look at that and say, come on, brother, you believe that? That sounds a little way off. How is that so? When even in the Bible, the Christ of the scripture speaks of in the days of Moses, Moses himself said that if you were to commit adultery, you would be hung, you would be stoned, whatever it is, you would be definitely done away with in quick order. But verily, verily, I say unto you, this is the Christ speaking now. Just for you to think about it in your mind, you have already achieved it. You have already accomplished the act. And what that shows you, the power of thought, the power of the mind. And this is an example we also use when we are speaking of or motivating people on the concept of thoughts becoming things. But on the level of Afrocentricity now, the point that I'm making is that the moral standard in this voodoo society was so high that if a man was just to think something that he knew was not totally correct, that no one had to approach him, no one had to come and counsel him, because the morality in the fiber of that community was so tightly knit. So when we look into the mystics of this now, pardon me for that interruption there. When we look into the mystics of this now, again, we're speaking of a certain level of morality, and this is coming directly from our African heritage. This is very important, you know. Do you think when our ancestors like Dr. Henrik Clark would speak about us not having certain words in our ancient culture? Read the book, The Destruction of the Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams, The Fall of the Nubian Empire. It speaks about us not having words that were related to the prison. We had no words for prison. Just think about that. We had no words, or we did not have a word that could communicate the language of rape. So you have no word for rape. You have no word for prison. You have no phrase for old people's home. I'm not just pulling phrases out of the sky and trying to sound pretty. I'm talking about documented facts. If you listen to how I speak properly, you would notice that I'm giving you the names of scholars, and I'm giving you receipts, I'm showing you the references where you yourself can go and check the information for yourself. In the point that I'm making now, if you have no word for prison in your vocab, more than likely you don't have a prison in your society. Wow, that's a backward society. These people must be uncivilized. They don't have no prison? Right. So why do you think they don't have no prison? Because there was nothing taking place in the society that needed place or a cage to put nobody in. We didn't even put birds in cages, much less another human being. I shouldn't even say much less, not respect to the bird. We don't put nothing in cage or in cages. You know, the earth is a free thing. We don't abuse plants and arrest plants and have one plant legal and one illegal. That's the concept of someone else. I'm very serious. I'm extremely serious because in my book, and I know a lot of my listeners are listening from outside of the borders here in Antigua. And I don't know exactly what's the tug of war maybe in your neck of the woods, but it's not that pleases me when I hear people wrestling over, concepts of African history and Black history. I'm going to show you what I mean. Now, the essay competition itself, in fact, before I go to the depths of it, because I'm going to go in a few moments, let me just first of all highlight the criteria for the essay competition, exactly what's needed from those who will partake, and exactly what's available. Now, as I said, this is the 6th year running of the essay competition. We established it during the time of African History Month because I would say the society that I live in, when I was 10 and 11 and 12 years young, 13, 14, 15, in fact, up to 25, 26, I cannot remember that African history, Black history, Black History Month was a staple at all in any school, at all. Now, today, it has become a part of the whole entertainment, and I would say entertainment. So, as it's February now, wow, you see everyone, put on their African clothes. The schools would have an African play or some sort of African liberation, not liberation day, but African History Month program. It may be one day, they may pick 3 days out of the month. They would invite 1 or 2 historians to come and speak XYZ. Okay, so man, February is the shortest month, and and every day should be African History Month, and every day should be African History Day. And I'm only saying this, just to kind of clear a path. It's important sometimes to clear a path, because for me alone, I think I'm past that level. Me personally, I think I'm beyond that level of conversation for sure. Because most people that talk about February is the shortest month, and they give us the shortest month, and every day should be African History Day. They're not living no African history now. I'm just telling you, and that's just the fact. And I mean, you know exactly where I'm coming from, because we are people that we like to make excuses for things that we just don't want to dabble in. I have never been no great African History Month celebrator. I never fought against it, honestly. I never, tried to put it down. I understand the history of it, Brother Carter G. Woodson, and that's another thing. You need to know the history. I think that was in 1926, 27, somewhere thereabouts. The brother literally fought to get some level of recognition of our African history, our Afrocentricity within the school system at the time. To me, that is commendable. So it was once Negro History Week. And then it became Negro History Month. This is something that the government of his society, the United States, accepted or at least recognized, to the point that now when it's African or Black History Month, I think they usually say Black and not African. When it's Black History Month, whether they like it or not, people recognize it. When it's Martin Luther King's birthday, whether people recognize it or accept it or not, pardon me, well, they say, okay, that's it, it's happening. They accept that it's happening. They may not accept it in their heart, but they accept that it's happening because the government said, let them go with the month. Okay, fair enough. So you have a month, Valentine somewhere in the middle with all the red hearts and Cupid with his arrow sticking it in your heart. That is another story altogether. You have the 28 days or the 29 days to play with to get something done so you could express your Afrocentricity. And trust me, when the 1st of March comes, enough people just lock off and gone back to whatever they're doing until next year they come and keep up the same. Well, Malcolm X was a good man, and Dr. Martin Luther King, and Nelson Mandela. And let me be clear, the rhetoric is something that has been handed to us as well. It's a script that we have been given. Let me be clear, the heroes that we uphold are the heroes that our conqueror has given us. Now, let me be clear. Even the names that I called, don't get me wrong. Because if I start to talk, I'm going to go deeper and deeper and deeper, because the Martin Luther King that they give you is not the Martin Luther King that Martin Luther King left the scene as. The I Have a Dream individual clearly said that his dream was turning into a nightmare. How come they don't play that speech? Little white boys and little white girls, however the story goes, and black girls holding hands and walking together. That same man at the end of the day said, hey, listen, man, we need to take our money out of the banks of the Caucasians. That's what he said. We need to boycott Coca-Cola and Wonder Bread and a few other things that he went into that maybe he shouldn't have touched, according to those that were looking on. And within a matter of hours, he was dead. He was dead. You don't hear too much of the Martin Luther King that stood up for the war or for the people that they were sending to war in Vietnam. But they push I Have a Dream on you every day. So there's a reason for that. So we have heroes and sheroes, heroines, if you want to call them, that we don't talk about, because those who pick our icons for us don't recognize them. Have you ever watched Keep Your Eyes on the Prize? I think they have about 14 episodes of that. And I've been watching that for a while, PBS Eyes on the Prize. And although it's basically, focusing on the time of the civil rights era, I always found it interesting that you're going to go so deep into the struggle of Black people in the United States of America, and you have nothing to say, not even one word to utter about Marcus Messiah Garvey. Nothing at all. You mean to tell me you even mentioned Nat Turner, but you say it kind of soft, Nat Turner. And then you bring it all, Frederick Douglass. You kind of put a little volume on Frederick Douglass. And of course, you're going to highlight maybe W.B. Du Bois. And just, interestingly, you somehow totally forget Marcus Garvey, because no Marcus Garvey. You skip over Marcus Garvey and you come up the line. Medgar Evers, Dr. Martin Luther King. You kind of run around Elijah Muhammad, but You bring him in the conversation every now and again. Malcolm X, and you could talk about him. You would even make a movie because you know you're working on his character too. Because all he said was by any means necessary. There ain't nothing else of importance that came out of the mouth of Malcolm X. I'm very serious, eh? I'm very serious here. I'm not playing around. This ain't funny at all. Trust me. I'm trying to show you, my brothers and sisters. We're like puppets with the puppet's master's hands sticked up in our rear, and they move in the hand and we talk. So who we worship, who we praise, who we idolize, what we eat, what we drink, what we wear, where we go, everything we do has been orchestrated by someone else. And this is why knowing your Afrocentricity is so important to me. I live in a nation or country where there's no Afrocentricity at all. But my brother, you just said they're starting to adapt the African History Month. Oh yes, thanks for bringing me back to that point. Yes, all right. They don't call it African History Month. My essay is African History. The title of the essay is What Does African History / Heritage Mean to Me? That's the title of the essay. It has always been that title. Well, we added the word heritage about the third year, but it has always been what does African history mean to me, or what does African history / heritage mean to me? Around these parts, it's Black History Month, and they mean it. And then now there's this cry from most of the people that the United States of America has their Martin Luther Kings. I want you to listen to this narrative good, eh? The United States of America has their Martin Luther King and their Malcolm X and whoever else they have and their Barack Obama. But who do we have here in the Caribbean? And then we start to highlight some individuals that would have been a part of our history. Basically, the country as we know it today, its upbringing. And let me be clear here, some of these individuals, even I look at them as great people, even under the realms of, or in the realms of a hero, depending on the category that we are putting them in. But I do not think that it is wise, again, to dilute your Afro / Caribbean / Black after slavery history. Please don't complicate that, which is what we're doing. Let me repeat that. Your Afro / Caribbean / Black / after slavery history. Don't mix that up with our ancient history, anthropology, paleontology, our culture, our theology. I'm talking about ancient Africa. So we are going to, it's almost like Marcus Garvey said, you cannot give away a continent for an island. We are giving away a few little years for countless of years of information. You're talking about 3.2 years, 3.2 million years as it relates to the Ignish, which they call Lucy, talking about the bones of the Ethiopian. And remember Haile Selassie, which is the grandson of Emperor Haile Selassie, which is the chief archaeologist, anthropologist, pardon me, in Ethiopia at this time. And he discovered the bones of Kadenumu, considered to be between 5 and 7 million years old, Kadenumu, which means the great one, or the Great Beard. So I'm showing you now, and all of these structures were found in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, the land of creation, the land of civilization. So when we're speaking of Ethiopia now, look at this ancient map here. Now I've shown my audience this already. But one of the things I want to highlight here, you notice it says here the Ethiopian Ocean. What this is showing you, and you could see that even the way that it is divided, it may have some demarcation, yes, but it's not like what you see today, the squat that they have in Africa. Can you imagine, as Priest Zebulon said, he knows people that their front door is in Ghana and their back door is in Togo. Eh? Yeah. Look at Senegal and the Gambia. Can you believe that? If you just watch Senegal and the Gambia good and try to use your brain, you say, wait, who is it that created this? The colonializers. So I'm showing you now the fact that this ocean is called the Ethiopian Ocean. Remember, Ethiopia is over here, but in this time when the Greeks saw this land, they saw that the whole land itself was an ancient kingdom known as Ethiopia or Ethiopia. This is highlighted also even in the Bible in the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 10. It speaks about the city of Thebes in Kemet. It refers to it as Norway in the Bible. Thou better than populous Norway. And remember Thebes, who Chancellor Williams in his book, again, The Destruction of Black Civilization, speaks of this city as the city with 100 gates. And in the Bible, this city is described as the city that had its walls from the sea. And its rampart, which really is its walls and defense, was the sea. So, for example, when you hear people say, well, the Italians had a hard time coming into Ethiopia to defeat the Ethiopians because of the topography, because of the mountainous terrain. That's what they were saying. So then now you could say, okay, Ethiopia has a lot of mountains. So Thebes now, or Norway, according to the Bible, its defense was the sea. Follow me good, eh? Thebes does not have any sea around it, eh? Thebes is a little city. Norway is just a city in Kemet. If you go there now, you cannot go to the beach. But the point is, although it's the city with 100 gates, it was once the capital of Kemet. It was once the capital of Northeast Africa. It once ruled all of Africa. That is why the Bible could say that its defense was the sea, because the continent was one under the ancient Northeast African rule. And that's from a biblical perspective, you know. And then now, when you look at all of that in its fullness again, as I said, Ethiopia or Ethiopia, as you notice, it's spelled with the A here, the Ethiopian, and the A is very important as well. So when you see the same signs that I'm bringing to you, that's why sometimes we bring up the true biblical land of Israel. But the book of Nahum also goes on to say, Ethiopia and Egypt were her helpers. Put and Luben were there with her. And Put and Luben and Ethiopia and Egypt are all Northeast African countries. Libya and Sudan and Somalia. So before his story, you can't be telling me, oh, his story never said that Africa was one. Because people bring up that argument all the time. Oh, what you're saying, you're not an African. What do you mean? No, and Africa is not even the original term. My brother, you're speaking to me. Me you're talking to. I mean, I could explain that to you too. But we don't have to get too confused with the word sound. And for you to say that Africa was never one, who is it that told you that? Who is it that gave you that information there? The same person that told you that this lady here, this is the Black Madonna and child, the same person that told you that this Black woman here and the child was your white savior. I mean, don't play with me, eh? Don't play with me. The same person that told you that this is a European from Jerusalem is the same person that tried to tell you that we as African brothers and sisters never got along. We were never one. These are the same people that are quick to tell you, well, listen, man, your own brothers and sisters sold you out. They were the ones that sold you into slavery. They're quick to tell you that. But I never hear them talk about the Ethiopians that left from Tigray and came down in the Caribbean to fight the war of slavery, to free slaves that were down here. Nobody bring up them kind of history there. And those that oral history has remained with us, even within my family. I could speak of that. Remember, we have griots here. And remember, the slavery thing is just a couple of 100 years. So the oral history has continued. So the history book doesn't have everything in it. And those history books that have it in, they're going to hide it from you. So they're quick to tell you, oh, your brother sold you out. And that by itself is a next story. Oh, Africans had slaves. What kind of slaves? Not the kind of slaves that you have. No. That's a totally different thing. What you did to us, how you had us in the ships, packed on each other like sardine, defecating, number one and number two, even having children, delivering children under the bottom of these ships. I mean, you used to chain us together and throw us off the ship if we were too skinny or too weak, or we looked like we were dying because we were cargo. That's what you call slavery. Brought us to a different world, working in the sun, lynching, hanging, Ku Klux Klan. I could go on and on. That's what we know as slavery. There was nothing like that going on in Africa. What you call slavery in Africa, just meditate on that. What you call slavery in Africa, just meditate on that. If we had a so-called tribal war, because Europe have tribal war too, you know, they call it World War I and World War II. But if we had a tribal war and we had a little issue with our neighbors across over the hill, not across the border, over the hill, because these were the things that demarked our land or gave us our boundaries: rivers, valleys, mountain ranges. So if there was just a little, you know, whatever, and I just happened to catch, let's say, 100 of your people, and I had them there, do you know they got top treatment, high level of treatment? I mean, just the history books alone will tell you this, eh? If you go into the history of our scholars that I've just mentioned, they would show you when Africans had any sort of squabble between each other, it was not like how war today. Nobody torturing no prisoners. Prisoners were kept with the highest of standard. And I'm just talking of recent history before the invasion. You understand? And this is why we didn't even have the words that you use, like for a prison. That is why I refuse to call anything that was done by us slavery, because slavery, as we know it, is a very dreadful thing. And we never conducted nothing like that in Africa amongst ourselves or amongst anyone else. And you see, this is why concentrating on your African history, on your Afrocentricity is very, very important. This is a psychological war, you know. This is more than just history and books. This is a psychological war. This is a war so that you could look at yourself and belittle yourself and do not see who you really are within. And this is why we bring this through the educational system. This is not just talk. The educational system. So this is why when I hear people talk too, I just, sometimes I shake my head because talking is one thing, but what about the doing? The curriculum that we have, there is no space whatsoever in the curriculum for anything to do with Africa. Again, the Black History Month, unless they call me to come and speak. I don't know how far the Afrocentricity will go. Yeah, and it's not everybody that will be quick to call me to come and speak. Because when I come and speak, I'm not afraid to say, Hail Idi Amin. Oh boy, oh Lord, oh God. Oh Lord, oh God, my foot. You see, this is what I'm talking about. What's wrong with that? Well, I heard. That's all we heard. And who did you, pardon the grammar, who did you heard that from? Yeah, I'm very serious. This is why we need a serious colonic. We need a detoxification of the mind, of the brain, man. We've been brain scrubbed. All of the vital elements and minerals have been literally taken away from us and taken out of our whole framework. So basically, what we're doing for this year, we have, let me give thanks. Let me just look here. Give thanks to all those who are in tune. Man, I'm so into it. Yeah, so just bless up everyone that is here. Yes, Reggae Jackson Productions. He's saying Eritrea is punt. All right, I could work with that. Bless up Sister Sensei in the house. Give thanks for the strength. Kush 100. Of course, Kivan R. Give thanks for all those that are tuning in, spreading all the love. I'm very thankful for that. Brother Bobo in the house. Xavier Livingston. All right. Now, blessed love, Empress Divine as well. Give thanks for your presence with us. So, what I am saying now, this is very, very key, my brothers and sisters. We are putting out the essay, and this is for the people that live in the nation. This is something that I will be doing internationally one day, but obviously you got to do things by steps. I don't think I could officially say that I've conquered this as yet, even on the national level. You understand? So basically, it is dedicated for youth that are from the ages of 7 to 17. There are three different groups. You have the junior, the intermediate, and you have the seniors. You might want to take some notes if you are very interested in this competition for you or someone you know. Now, the juniors, the age group is between 7 and 9. And or from 7 to 9. Between 7 and 9 is 8, isn't it? From 7 to 9. The intermediate is from 10 to 13. And the seniors, they're from 14 to 17. So now, the essay itself is entitled, What Does African History, not Black History, what does African history / heritage mean to me? I will just repeat again. Although there is, conversation even over the concept of the word black, I'm not dedicating this program to that, but you could go on and on with that conversation, and I could follow along. Me, I don't have a problem using the word black at all. Trust me, I don't have a problem. Those who do not want to say that they're black people, etc., I've listened to the argument, the whole aspect of law and these different things, even brother Taj Tariq and even my good brother around here in Antigua and the Moorish Science Temple, who really championed that cause as far as individuals referring to themselves as black. I understand what they say, but personally, I do not have a problem at all using the terminology. That's just my own opinion. But in this case, it's not what black history means to me. It's African. We're home in this home. We're bringing this to the point. We don't want to mix it up. Don't try to put it in some little group. I'm very serious, eh? For those who are going to be writing the essay, this is something that we will be looking at. So your content got to be rich as it relates to, again, the continent of Africa, the culture of Africa, the people of Africa. Yes, of course, you're not going to lose marks for highlighting our rich culture outside of Africa, because the world belongs to us. You see me? The world is ours. In fact, you will get marks for that. But obviously, if you're coming with the frame of mind that I'm just talking about my village and the man down the road that used to fix our shoes, he is a black man. You know, we should remember these people before it's too late. I agree. But that's not what we are talking about here. What does African history / heritage mean to me? And I come to realize, even just today alone, I come to realize, Priest Isaac, do you know you're the only one around here? I'm talking about in Antigua. You're the only one around here pushing African, literally specifying it, at least on the front line. Maybe some, I mean, others I know, but for those who are vocal that people hear all the time. Yeah. Everyone else, everybody else is saying black history. And that's what they mean. The black people around here that has done good things for us in our struggle after slavery. That's the mentality, psychology you're talking about. The black people around here that has done something for us after slavery. Man, that is weak. That is weak. And let me tell you something. We live in a country where the vast majority of people are of African descent. 99 point something of African descent. And in the same way, people would say, it's a shame that you're going to take the shortest month to remember your African history. Well, trust me, it's a double shame that you're going to take February, you're going to hijack February to try to highlight the black people that live in your little society and community here. That's a triple shame, I should say. Come on. No. So this is why I refuse, even if I'm the last one standing. Yeah, I'm going to hold it down because nobody else doing no essay competition. All the black history people, all the talkers, all the remember this and remember that, and the pick and egg them need for this and that. Nobody else is doing nothing like this. So I'm going to hold my reins tight and I'm not letting it go. I'm so serious about this. You cannot send in no essay for me with no black history. That will be disqualified. Straight up. And I'm not saying it with any anger or any animosity. Don't get me wrong. I know I kind of have a little vibes when I talk. I'm just letting you know that's the rules. That's not what we're talking about. Maybe somebody else is talking about that. Please don't be upset with me. That's not what we're talking about. We want to be clear. We're talking about Africa. Africa I talking about. Well, it wasn't called Africa, and you know where I'm talking about. You know the place I'm talking about. Here wasn't called Antigua neither. Come on, man, let's stop playing games. Africa. What does Africa or African history / heritage mean to me? All right. I know I get a little spicy sometimes, but man, this ain't acting, man. This is my real life here. This is my real. I don't dress up to come on camera, you know. That's another thing. This ain't no make believe and powder me up business. This is a daily routine that does hurt me sometimes. Some of us were so fake. It's just like, oh, it's dress up time. Give me a break. So for the juniors that are 7, 8, and 9, they have 100 words that they have to write. Just 100 words. 10 times 10. I mean, then you have the intermediate. That's from 10 to 13 years young. They have 200 words that they have to prepare for us. And then you have the seniors. They're from the age of 14 to the age of 17. And they have 300 words that they have to write for the essay competition itself. Pardon me, I've been, okay, bam, 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 bam. Yeah. So that's it. And the title again, what does African history slash heritage mean to me? So basically now, the so-called deadline, we like to say the lifeline for the essay to be brought in is Friday, the 28th day of February. Friday, the 28th day of February. Sometimes we tend to extend it for whatever reason. We are trying not to do that this time, you know, because it's not fair for those who brought in their essay before the time or on time to say you're giving other people time to bring it in. No, no. Oh, well, we heard late. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just what it is. And you have again Friday, 6 p.m., Friday, 28th February, 6 p.m. Now, obviously, those in Antigua would know of the top ranking store on Old Parham Road. That's top ranking, where the high prices get a spanking. That's on Old Parham Road. All you have to do is to drop your essay to top ranking and say that you brought this for the Honorable Priest Isaac for the essay competition, and I will get it. Now, of course, when you do your essay competition, you will also be graded for presentation. You understand? There is not a specific criteria in the sense of if you write it or you type it. Let me be clear. Not because you've typed it mean you're going to get more marks than if you were to pen it with your hand. In certain cases, I personally appreciate, when somebody writes, things like even a letter. I could understand the professionalism of typing it. But in my case, for my essay competition, you don't have to necessarily get it typed up. I'm telling you. But if you're writing it, you want it to be presented properly. Consider your handwriting as well. All of that. If you think, man, my handwriting ain't really, I think I need to get this typed. It's just up to you. You got to use your own initiative. But the presentation, you are free to add whatever aesthetics you want to add to the quality of your work. If you want to portray it in colors, if you want to do it with an artistic background, you just got to know. If you say you put your work in a folder, and when the folder opens, I'm just giving you a little idea. You have some cards when they open, they start to sing to ding 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 ding. Right. I mean, if you are innovative and you could figure out how to do something like that, you may be surprised, like, hey, okay, we got a winner here. So I'm just showing you, because you got to be crafty. You got to know how to think, to present yourself properly. But the point is that presentation is obviously very important. Whether it's in a folder or not, we don't specify that, but when you present it to us, we are asking that you put it in an envelope. Obviously, you'd have to address it properly. Your name, your date of birth, name, date of birth, and contact number. You don't got to put what school you go to, and you don't got to put where you live. We're not trying to find you on, this is not, we're not interrogating you. The date of birth is very important, because that will let us know your age on the day of the lifeline. the deadline, the lifeline, which is the 28th day of February. So if on the 28th day of February, you are 10 years old, this essay goes into the intermediate group. So for example, let's just suppose you are 9 years old right now, but you're going to be 10 years old on the 27th day of February. You need you got to come out of the junior group and come into the intermediate group, because the 28th of February is the day that we will use to determine what group you are in. So you may be 9 now, but when the essay is being judged, you'll be 10. At least when the time for it to be brought in has come and gone, you will be 10. So we're using that lifeline to judge exactly where you will fit as it relates to the groups, the three groups that we have: the senior groups, the intermediate groups, and the junior group. I think that is very clear. And we intend to announce the winners on Thursday and Friday, the 5th and the 6th of March. And also, we are looking to have the prize giving ceremony, pardon me, on the 12th of March. And the venue for that has not been decided as yet. But of course, definitely, we will also be giving you that when we bring forward more information to you. So thus far now, we have allocated at least for a first prize. Now, this is the first prize for, please pardon me for that. This is the first prize for the seniors group. So what we have here, we have a Acer Spin One laptop, brand new, never been used, Acer Spin One laptop. Very good laptop, definitely. I've had several Acers. I'm actually using an Acer even as we speak. And this itself, of course, the Spin One, it can literally genuflex, really. It could become a tablet. And of course, this is something that any young man or young woman could use for sure to definitely further themselves as it relates to information and education knowledge. So this is the first prize. At the moment, we do not have a second prize within the seniors group. In fact, we do not have a second prize for any of the groups as yet. We are riding on first prizes for the moment. So this is what we have, the Acer Spin One laptop. We have already acquired this, and we'll be giving you a little more detail as we go along as it relates to those who have contributed thus far in allocating these different prizes that we have so far. So for those not between, those who are 14, 15, 16, or 17, and again, if you're 17 now, and on the 27th of this month, you're going to be 18. I understand how you feel, but we got to have certain rules to make sure everything runs smooth. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But for sure, once you're within that age range, you could definitely, and you're in the nation of Antigua and Barbuda, you could definitely write that essay. 300 words. What does African history? 300 words. Wow, so much. 300 words. What does African history / heritage mean to me? And then now we also have, this is the first prize. We have the first prize for the intermediate group. So those who are 10, 11, 12, and 13, this is the prize for the first place winner. This is a WingSing tablet. You see it here. You could also, we haven't taken this out of the box. Plastic, everything is still there. But obviously you could get an idea of exactly what it is, the WingSing tablet. This would definitely make a good gift, a wonderful gift, really, for anyone between the ages of 10 and 13, or from the age of 10 to the age of 13, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that itself is another gift similar to the laptop, which of course would inspire or assist any young man or woman in their education, in their research, because today research means Google. Yeah, research is synonymous, pardon me, with Google. When I was just coming into knowledge, when a person says, hey, you got to do your research, you know what we had to do? You had to go to the library. In some cases, you had to catch a plane. Today, man, do your research. What do you say to look for? Man, the Emerald tablets. Okay, you take up a phone and you, that's research. Believe me, that's research today. Now, I'm not one of those persons that do not appreciate the fact that things may move a bit faster, because it's a different time, man. Trust me, it's a different time. You could just ask any question today. You know what I mean? Those who are 15 years and younger, you may not really pick up what I'm saying, eh? But today it's a different time. You could just say, yeah, man, do you know what so and so is? Give me a second. Yeah, man, and you give you everything. Yes, yeah, it's 3,000 miles high, and it's 6,000 miles deep, and 150 kilometers, and 10,000 centigrade, and you just have everything there. 0.32104, you just have the answers there. But before time, or a few years ago, it wasn't as easy as that. So what that does in reality, what a lot of this does, and the Wi-Fi and the computer, it does encourage a lot of lazy research too, eh? Yeah, trust me. Those of us who have come before all of this and know the importance of hardcore investigation and research. Yes, again, it is good that you have a faster way of getting some simple information, but trust me, there's certain level of knowledge that you need to gather, that you need to do it firsthand. So if you really want to understand a culture, sometimes you gotta go and live amongst the people. If you really, really want to talk about this building and that building and this portrait and that portrait, I'm not saying you can't talk about it, but if you really want to be the professional, sometimes you just gotta go. And even this exercise, what we are doing, we are encouraging young ones not just to know their Afrocentricity, but we're encouraging writing skills, investigation skills, research skills, all of this, reading skills, because when you win, you gotta come and read it. We're building your courage. Well, at least that's how I see it. All of this is involved in this whole practice of the essay competition. Now, for the juniors, 7, 8, and 9, what we're planning to do is give a gift voucher. But we're still working on that one. And this is why every year we actually put out to the society, or we advocate to the society for anyone who want to come on board and partner with us. Maybe in the early days, we would say anyone who'd want to contribute or donate, but we try to spit them kind of words out of our mouth. Them words make it sound like, well, you down here and you're asking somebody to help us to do. No, this is a work that needs to be done. In fact, those who are in authority should be doing it. That's why we're doing it, because we're in authority. Yeah, just gotta put it in. But you know who I mean. In fact, those that supposedly in authority, all of what we're saying to you, this is not no backdoor action. We do not do this unless we put pen to paper. We do not do this unless we put pen to paper and drop a copy to the Ministry of Education. Drop a copy to the Minister of Education. Make sure the Director of Education gets a copy. Make sure the Prime Minister gets a copy. Please carry one to the Governor General. And then we go around from school to school and make sure all the stakeholders at least have an idea of what we are doing here for the last 6 years as it relates to the essay competition. You know, I'm one of them people that believe the true religion is love. I'm using the term religion very loosely too. The true religion is love. And as it relates to even that whole concept again of love, love is something that, as they say, is unconditional. So I honestly believe that there is a lack of love amongst us for ourselves and definitely for our youths. And I'm being very clear here. Trust me, this is done through love. The 6 years that this has been done, it has always been something that I wouldn't say it leaves us in a deficit, but just as we have sponsors, we are the main sponsors, if you want to call them sponsors. I prefer to say partners. Again, you're partnering with us. We're doing a project and you're coming on board and you have become partners in the project. But at the end of the day, we have put the most into the project. That's not a problem for me because we're the one that is doing it. But in all respect, this should be bigger than this. We have ads running on the radio station locally. We have sent in requests to the main television station. I would hope that a representative of the television station, the news media would be watching this as well, because we make sure we send out the information. Trust me, my people. This ain't no bedroom action going on here. No. I just have to let you know. This is serious works that we have been doing for double decades now. And through its ever living life, this is something that's just going to go greater and get greater and get greater. So this should be headline news. It's Black History Month, isn't it? All right. Anybody doing anything? No? Okay. The cultural department. We have a cultural department here. And they're planning a month of activities as it relates to Black History Month. And if you check the itinerary and the lineup, it ain't got nothing to do with the core of Afrocentricity. We're just gonna lament on, the kind of food we used to eat in slavery that has been passed down to us. We're just gonna, reminisce on how we used to drink pond water and how we used to run barefoot and play marble. Let's bring back the old games we used to play, like marble. And and as I said, there is space for that. There is space for all of them talking there. But we are falling prey to the plot to totally forget our Afrocentricity by pretending we celebrated Black History Month. These killers know how to hide things right in front of your face, brother. Wow, so you believe, wow, the people waking up, they start to celebrate Black History Month. Wow, hip hip hooray. And even me, I kind of fell for that. And I said, wow, I'm glad to hear that today. Yeah, man, boy, that's why I'm doing this. Yeah, man, this is a good chance. Do you know that's why I do it at this time? I could do this anytime. But I'm like a surfer. I'm riding the wave. I'm not the biggest fan of Africa History Month, man. As I said at the beginning, I don't really have a problem with it, but it's not number one on my celebration. Oh, that's a shame. I mean, that's a shame. Do you celebrate Haile Selassie's birthday? When is that again? All right, let's continue the conversation. As I said, it is not the top event on my chart. But since people are, yeah, Kente Clark and Regala, and they're trying to get, cultural, we just ride the wave. You could call it what you want, but we ride the wave. But in riding the wave, when we observe the wave properly, we say, hey, look, this ain't no African nothing. This is just trying to keep us in this same after slavery mentality. And carnival is emancipation and all of them kind of talk. And my followers and those who listen to me all the time, I know for sure, even though you have never been here, you have a good idea of what I'm talking about because I continually bring up these issues, especially during the time of independence and carnival and these times when we just lose the understanding of really who we are and really where we come from. As I said in a program just a few nights ago, people would be upset with you, man, if you were to tell them, well, I didn't vote this time around. They're vexed with you. You don't have nothing to say if you didn't vote. But if I voted for him, when he won or when he wins, he's going to go in the government house, he's going to hold a Bible in his hand, and he's going to say that he swear an allegiance to Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and her successors, except for maybe Harry. Now, you upset with me for that? I'm just trying to show you how enslaved we are. You're supposed to say, well, listen, man, I think you should vote. Look how the American people band together and they elected Barack Obama. You should vote, man. If you need to have a say. You need to have a say. So what if I say, well, I voted last time? Well, you got to vote this time. You got to keep it up. No, I don't want to vote because whoever I vote for, they're going to swear. Swear, no. They're not going to say, I like. They're not going to say, well, I'm thinking of. They're going to say, I solemnly. I solemnly, in all humility, swear. Man, as children, we were taught not to swear. I solemnly swear to Queen Elizabeth II, her sons, her daughters, and whoever else coming behind. And if I refuse to keep out of that because of that, any right-thinking person supposed to say, wow, brother, I think you should vote, really, I mean, you've got to have a say, but I could understand where you're coming from. It is a very serious thing, because as you said, he takes an oath, or they take an oath, and, an oath is, it's something to really think about, I think we should try to change it, but don't give up the process. Even that I would accept. Even that, just to converse about it. But I live in a society, them people like they're ready to skin you alive because you refuse to go and mark an X for somebody that will tell you in your face, thanks for your vote. I'm doing this one for the Queen. Huh? That's how I know we are totally brains corrupt. Real Negroes. Yeah, I'm like the pipe piper, brother. Yeah, I always consider myself like the pipe piper. Yeah. You get rid of the rats for them. Oh, yeah. You help them clean up the society. Oh, yeah. And they refuse to pay you. So you keep piping and you take the children away from them. You don't believe me? I have my pipe here. You keep piping and you take the children away from them. Yeah. So, yeah, man, the essay competition is on, my brothers and sisters. Again, the first prize for the seniors and the intermediate groups are here. Of course, it's just the beginning of the month. As you know, you have until the end of the month to bring in your essay. We already gave that detail. You know, you could revisit the video again. At least this video, all the information should be in the description below. As far as contact, you definitely could contact me for more information. Even those overseas, you could do that as well. The number is 721-3773. That is the number we're utilizing for the moment. 721-3773. All of those who may not be able to contact me on an older number that we have given in the past, for the moment, but that will be up again. But for now, you can contact us at 721-3773. And that's WhatsApp as well. Again, for the international community, the area code would be 268. But I would repeat again that all that information is in the description below. Email is priestisaac27@gmail.com, priestisaac27@gmail.com. Information below again. So you could definitely keep up with that. And remember, you drop it off at top ranking. I would not go through that whole run again. I think, again, if you need more information, you can contact me, or you could just simply go over the video again. And now for those also even within the land, oh yes, before we go, let me just highlight this. As I said, we have partners. It's not myself alone. So I definitely like to highlight, even on board, first of all, we like to give thanks to Brother Damon Lewis. That is Brother Damon Lewis from Chuka's Trucking. Definitely like to highlight my good brother France De Freitas, another brother that's doing marvelous works here in Antigua as it relates to the youth. In fact, you know what I mean, on the educational level, you know, he has the youth lead program where he brings different youths together and, you know, inspires them, teaches them, you know, community building, public speaking. He has even organized a whole radio program around his youths. When I say his youths, the youths that come to his program. The program is called, the radio program is called Youthology, which comes on every Friday on the Observer radio station as well. That's Brother France De Freitas. So we're thankful to Brother France De Freitas as well. Brother Christmas, that's his name, Brother Christmas from Quality Cars and Mufflers. Brother Binza as well. We like to thank these individuals for their partnership and coming on board thus far. Our good sister Jacqueline Thomas as well from Villas Sunset. Villas at Sunset, pardon me. We like to give thanks. And we like to make a special thanks as well to those who are not on the line, because we have people overseas. Remember, this is done for those that are in the land, eh? Not that we're discriminating, because we are international people. You could obviously see how I talk. I ain't, you know what I mean, I ain't locked down to, you know, Little Rock. You could see that for sure. But obviously, as I said, it's steps. This is the 6th year. By the time we reach the 60th year, I mean, this is going to be cosmic. So don't worry about that. But I like to say special thanks to my good brother Mike Doang, Brother Mike Doang, who definitely came forward in a big way. We got to give thanks to him even for the first prize, Brother Mike Doang. And we like to give thanks pardon me, to Brother David Cornez. Brother David Cornez, my good brother, I love you a lot, man. Forgive me for if I get the title a bit, the surname a bit mixed up. Brother David Cornez and Jeremy Humphrey, pardon me, Brother Jeremy Humphrey, yes. So we're thankful for all of these partners, Asante Sana, we would say, those who have come and partnered with us. Yes. So yes, my brothers and sisters, that's the moment I will spend with you this evening. Basically, this program was just light to you exactly what the African History Month essay competition was all about, and exactly the details. I was to give you the details on how you could be a part of it, how you could play your part, and go forward with us. So it was a joy. Before I go, let me just see what's wrong with my message board. It stopped moving here. Okay. So, but give thanks. We have a few people coming in here. Anthony Tracy, Kush 102. Love for the eye. Oh, give thanks, Kush. Give thanks. Mike D, give thanks for coming in. Give thanks for all those who are with us. I have a couple moderators, but I don't see them in the house tonight. I don't know if they're off duty, but it's all right. We're still here doing what we have to do. Hey, I always say if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And for all my YouTube watchers and followers, don't worry. In short order, we will have something fresh uploaded for you. You might even see it tonight. But don't let me have you up, man. Go and get your rest if you got the rest. Something will be there for you to full joy tomorrow. We definitely try our best to make sure that we keep the information and the inspiration coming. And of course, my shock of the hour Patreons, give thanks for being with us. This was a special edition of the shock of the hour. We were double broadcasting here, between the shock of the hour and our live YouTube broadcast. And since we're doing that too, we'll also like to give very a heartfelt thank you, even for all the links and the connections, specifically with the Observer Radio, and enough respect all the time to ZDK Radio as well. So as I always say, it takes some real eyes to realize that are amongst us. Rastafari, consistent heat, Rastafari. That wasn't a phrase, that's somebody name I just read that just came in saying, blessed love Rastafari. Yeah, that's his name, Rastafari, consistent heat, Rastafari. Interesting. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed love, give thanks.